welcome guys to day one. Today we will be talking about something super important. And today we are with
Steven
and
Sadrak.
your host for today. If one of you guys wants to be in one of the podcasts later on, send us a DM on our Instagram. We would love to have you on the show. Would love to have you on the podcast. So what we want to do is get normal people to tell us their experience, businessmen to tell us their experience, and different levels of businessmen to tell us their experience, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a community of entrepreneurs, businessmen, and regular people that really want to change their lives, right? So Steven, let's begin.
Yes, sir.
How are you, bro?
I'm good. How are you, bro? How you feeling?
I'm enjoying this coffee. Easy
What brand?
Health.
Oh my goodness.
Easy Health coffee, based on mushroom coffee. It's super healthy, super good, delicious taste that it has, right? And this will be coming out pretty soon. We're still we're still working on it. We're still getting things done, because when we do something, we try to do it excellent.
That's the best that we call.
So today we have a very special topic. It's about time management. And what I know about you is that you like to be on time.
Yeah, for me, something that I learned from a old guy, a friend that I really appreciate, is that when you're not on time for things, first of all, you're gonna lose a lot of opportunities, and second, you are not gonna show respect for the other person that you have the appointment with, and even with yourself. If you don't be on time for the things like go to a gym, like things that you do for yourself, you only show that you don't even you love yourself. So that's why I always try to be on time to everything.
Of course. And like, for example, for somebody that is barely beginning on all this journey, and it's like sleeps or plays video games at night and then wakes up all late, and it's like, what time is it? What? Oh, already 11. Like, what would you say to that person if they really want to change their life?
So I think that change your life start by a choice that you have to take, because if you really want to change your life, you can't be doing the things that you were used to do, and you have to do a lot of hard change. So my first question is gonna be like, are you ready to see how far you can get if you really like focus on what you should be focused on?
Yeah, and why don't we talk a little bit about like prioritizing task, because I feel like that is something very important. I feel like when you are going into business or you're barely starting off, you feel like you have a world of things to do, right? Like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this and I gotta do that. And it's like your brain is like all over the place, right? With so many things to do and no hands to help you. So how do you prioritize your day?
So we'll start by, if you have like economical needs. So we'll say, for example, get a job, get on shape, because if you're not in shape, if you don't have a good like health habits, you are not going to be able to get a job or to be able to really grow something. So first of all, I will say, be on shape, get a job, and then do things that is going to help you to improve. So it depends of what are you looking for in your life. Because if you want to grow a business, then okay, first of all, have to get a job, because a business is going to need money and capital to start. And while I am getting the idea of what kind of business I'm gonna open, I'm gonna be making some money, getting out of debt. If I have like deudas or something, I will pay everything out. And then when I have some money, I will start working. Okay, what I'm gonna do for my business, what I like to do that I can make profit out of that. And then of course keep on shape and working towards the goal that you have open your business.
How about like a little bit about like person like your calendar, your like the tasks. For example, how does one day look for you?
So when they look for me, is I wake up at 8 a.m. usually 8 between 8 to 9, because I go to sleep really late, like around 3 4 in the morning. So I take like 5 hours of sleep, day of sleep. That is not ideal, but it's because I have to get a lot of things done on this time, and try to really optimize my time, and actually getting done things that I want to. So right now I get up at 8, between 8 and 9. I go shower, I go do some breakfast real quick, and then usually like around 10, 10:30, I start working on the things that I have to post on my social media for Easy Health, for day one, and for a couple of other things that I'm working on. I usually take like 3 hours to work on that, make clips, make content, organize, like do things that I have to get done on that time. Then I go like around 11, 12. I prepare some lunch, and then like around 1 p.m. after eating some lunch, taking some time to like rest, I go back to work. And I usually work until like 7, 8. Then I start to do things for myself, like for example, go to the gym, or like go out for a walk. It depends what I feel like doing that day, but it have to be exercise related. And then like around 10, 11, I usually be back at home. And for example, I get some food and then go back to work until like 3 a.m.
Yeah, that that is a busy schedule, for example, like my days are a little different. You get
Yeah,
me?
tell me about your day.
My days look like wake up sometimes very early. I do not work until sometimes I do work until like 1:30 a.m. But not all the time. Not like you right now. I know that. Like when you code and you're like doing that kind of stuff, a lot of like engineers they love to code at night because like no distractions and stuff. We've experienced that with like our engineers too. That they go at it at night until like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and then they go to sleep and they sleep like until like 12, 1 p.m., right? But for me, it's a little different because my kind of work is more like planning, strategizing, and seeing how to make things happen, right? So I wake up. Sometimes I wake up at 6:30. Sometimes I wake up at 4 because like I can't sleep anymore, and I'm like, okay, I'm out of sleep. It's what do I do now, right?
Hmm.
I love waking up at 4, like because I get my prayer time, and there's nobody awake, so I'm like, okay, perfect. There's no one awake. Let's pray. You get me? So I get my prayer time. I wake up usually just 6:30, 7 a.m. That's like my routine, right? 6:30, 7 a.m. And what I do is first things first, like I thank God for the day, right? And then after that, I see what I have to get done, like all the important things that I have to get done. And then after thinking of all the important things and checking the calendar and all that stuff, seeing all the meetings too, right? Because as of right now, my life rotates around meetings here, meetings here, and then the times that I'm not in meetings, I'm typing papers and documents and planning and or talking to you or talking to Oscar. You get me? So or talking to the other business partners like Luis and all them. You get me? So that's like how my day looks. So usually what I do is like I try to hit all the meetings in the morning, like all of them. That's where like people are most like receptible.
Hmm.
And then like my gym time, it's like around 7:30 p.m. You get me? But throughout the day, I try to get all my tasks done throughout the day. As of right now, I work from home. So when I get my head like super saturated, that I can't be creative, I can't think, or I get a blocker, then I usually just like I go clean. You get me? Because our kind of work is more here. It might not be physical. Like for example, talking with Felipe, right? That it's like, oh, bro, it's because my work is like super tiring, super physical. You get me? Like I want to go get home and just knock out. Like I don't want to do anything else. Even though the guy like makes the effort to go to the gym. You get me? Even though he's like tired, he's like sleepless sometimes. We see the kid like hustling.
Yeah,
You get me?
he's
Like freaking 2 a.m. in the morning, gets back from work at like 4, 5 p.m. You get me? Gets like 14-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, or whatever. But our game is a little different right here. And sometimes we get a lot of blockers. You get me? And through those blockers, like we tend to either go to the gym or we tend to do physical stuff. You get me? For me, is cleaning and putting my stuff, laundry, putting my stuff away. Try to like keep the house clean sometimes, or
I
cooking,
think
or
that that's something really important because it also depends what kind of job do you have. Because for some people like us, we're gonna get tired like mentally, but for people like Felipe, they get really tired like physical. So you also is gonna affect a lot of how you're gonna be able to manage your time, you know. And
mm-hmm.
also for us, for me, when I get those blockers, I like to organize my room, like change it and things like that.
Reorganize
Yeah,
everything.
because when I see things different, it's like okay, now I have a new perspective to see things, and also you have to find your own like way
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get over those blockers because if you don't do it, then you're gonna be stuck there.
yeah. That is very unique. That you change the whole room to like try to get out of the blocker.
Yeah.
That's very important. And another one of the things, how do you figure out like what's important, what's like urgent? What do you do there?
So usually there is something that Sadrak teach me that is how's it called? The
Eisenhower,
the
yeah.
Eisenhower quadrant because it's something that really helped me a lot. We're gonna put like a picture for you guys, but it's just like a corner where you're gonna put the urgent things, the important things that you have to get done, the things that are not important, and the not urgent things. So when you start by the urgent and important things, those are gonna be like your top priority
Yeah,
because are gonna things that you
yeah.
have to get done like ASAP. And then we have like the urgent and non-important things that are gonna think that you can delegate to someone else if you have a team, or if not, then are gonna be things that you're gonna be able to like put on your to-do list, like extra things, you know. And then you're gonna have the non-important and not urgent that is gonna be like your trash, like things that you don't really should be doing because are gonna be things that are not gonna really help you to grow anything or really take care of things, you know. So
Yeah,
don't waste time on those kind of things. And
yeah.
also putting this right down here are gonna help you to actually take it out of your mind and be focused on what you should be focused. And then you have the important and not urgent things. So are gonna be things that you have to get done, but you're not gonna have to get it done tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's something that you teach me, and it's been really helped me a lot lately.
Yeah. Just adding to that, I feel like you touch a very important part that I did not touch and I haven't touched yet. That is, if you don't have a team, it's only you, right? And you can delegate because who are you gonna delegate to,
It's me and
right?
myself and I,
Delegate to I.
or myself. Who wanna do it?
So we have your first list, which is the important things. Is like, okay, I gotta get this thing done,
Gonna be your
right?
priorities. Top.
And that is your important and urgent list, right? And then you have your important and not urgent is your secondary list.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get this done, you go to your secondary list. And then your third list is urgent but not important. That's your third list, right? So if you organize yourself like this, you'll be able to advance quick. You get all the urgent important things done, and then the secondary list, and then your third list done, and you're gonna be advancing faster than normal people will.
And how often do you recommend doing that?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah, usually like Sunday nights works for me. You get me? Like when I'm like already in about to like go to bed,
Yeah.
I draw it out and I put like, okay, all the important or urgent things is this, right? Usually I get like important urgent things. I get like 3 things to do per week.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually like how many things you get like that are like heavy. You get me? And then on the important but not urgent, I usually get like around 10 things per week. And then urgent but not important, like dude, like you will get probably like 15 because urgent it means problems in the instant too.
Things that we're
That
gonna have
you're
to
not
solve.
like man, like I didn't see this problem coming. You get me? So that is an area for flexibility too. You get me? Where you just gotta solve at the moment, and then just the spam or the trash that not urgent, not important. It's just the things that they're not important. It's just little tasks that you gotta get done, and you could just fit them through it. For example, for me is that kind of a task that is like cleaning my room, or like keeping the house clean, or making food, washing the dishes, those kind of things. You get me? They're not important. They're not urgent. But when I get blockers, I go to that list. You get me? Because it's like, oh, okay, just automatic stuff. I'll get this thing done automatically. So that is one of the Eisenhower quadrants. If you could search it up, learn it, it's gonna help you a lot on knowing what to prioritize within your day. And then there's another method
But
that
let me add something. So, for you was telling me that you do that like Sundays at night, and I think that's the best time to do it. Why? Because when you start to doing things on the Monday and you wake up, the moment that you wake up and you start doing things, you don't really have in your mind everything that you have to do. But a Sunday at night, you already know what things you have to come in for the next week. So I
mhm.
think it's better do it like before the week starts. That way you are gonna be prepared. And when you start on Monday after you get ready, okay, what I have to do, I have it here, and that way you're gonna be more effective.
Exactly. So, and then another one, talking about that, because you got to create a routine, right? You got to create habits, and then habits, you got to create routines. So, that is a routine that I put myself to. It's a routine that it cost me to build uh, the habits of one, getting my phone and putting the quadrant, drawing it out, and then putting all the important things, uh, typing the important things, and the not important, because it takes time. It takes me like around 15 to 20 minutes just to get it done. And sometimes when we're like in our bed, and we're with our phone, what do we usually do, man? Like,
Just look Instagram and
probably just like the waste of time and YouTube, Instagram, and all that stuff, right? But when you're running like different entities and different businesses, like your time is very important. It's very heavy. You get me? So getting these things done is, and getting your routine on track is very important. One of the things that I also do is put everything on calendar, like Google calendars. I usually, if I have meetings, I write it down. Like, okay, this week I have how many meetings I have. Four meetings, and then during the week meetings come out, and just start writing every single meeting out. Why? Because your brain will remember things. I don't know if you have a brain like mine, but my brain will remember most of the things. But if you don't, and you suffer with like that, your brain is like not remembering things. Well, there's pencil and paper. There is technology. There's calendars. There's Google Calendar.
a lot
There's
of
also
apps. Yeah.
Notion. You could just use a bunch of uh, things and apps. There's also an app named Structure that I use. You get me? That really helps you on the productivity and getting things done and routines and all that stuff. Yeah, honestly, like I think we talked about this on Olive Garden, that there was a period after my dad passed away, and I started like way up with Oscar. One of the things that I did was a very strict routine, super strict. Why? Because one, uh, I didn't know what to do. That's one of the things. Two, uh, I didn't want to. Well, I didn't want to feel the pain or face the pain, so I went into like this total like monk mode. You get me? For like almost 2 years, where my routine like this: wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, wake up at 5, pray, read the Bible, and then after that, um, go to the gym and After going to the gym, come back, have breakfast. I would be back in my room like around 8:30, and then uh, start working. Right, start working, work. Would work for like 4 hours full, and then after that would either take a shower or clean the house, right? And that was a routine already. Every single day was like that. Every single day. Why? Because everyone was going through like a time in their life where it was like depressed and in bed, and nobody wanted to do anything. The house was falling apart, bro. You get me? So like a whole like an hour and a half of doing that, and then go back to the room, type some more, uh, get done until like 9 p.m. Right? 9 p.m. I would usually just read a book until like 10:30, and then I would go to sleep like around my wind down time would be like a whole hour. You get me? That would be my wind down time, a whole hour. So that was like for me, it was super important, the winding down, because my brain was so active that for me it was super hard to go to sleep like that. You get me? Now, like, bro, like, now we have this, right?
And that helps a lot
We
of.
have Relaxer, which is from our brand Easy Health. Uh, and Relaxer really like helps a lot, because I want to wind down now. I take one of these things, half an hour, and I'm out. I'm knocked out. You get me? I'm knocked out. Or if I really have a lot on my mind, it takes me an hour. You get me, to knock out. But I'm on a state of like where I'm like really relaxed, like winding down my brain, and it's like until fall asleep, right? But there's different methods of winding down, and I've heard this from like Alex Hormozy, that one of his things that he does to wind down is he watches Netflix. You get me? And you might think like, dude, like what? He watches Netflix, and he has even said it that like, dude, like it doesn't matter like what you used to wind down. His like performance is on peak performance. You get me? He's always on peak performance, but that's like the time that you could actually enjoy and fall asleep. You get me? And I feel like we sometimes, as like business people, or like when we're like running the race, I feel like there is a lot of fear and stuff of like watching TV, Netflix, or things that you like to do to be able to wind down. You get me? There's people that read books, so great for them. There is people that like watch shows, so great for them. There's people that like to play video games to wind down, great for them. Now the thing is, okay, just give it a time to wind down, and after that time, just go to sleep.
I
You
think
get
that
me?
that was me like a month or 2 months ago. I was like really having to, or like really being strict with my routine. But and that means like I had to stop playing video games or watch TV or watch Netflix because I don't really watch TV. But then I was like, okay, there is a point where you get to feel like burnout because
Yeah,
you are working nonstop, and then there is a point where if you don't really do things to like you're saying, why not? Uh, you're gonna get burned out at the end.
dude, like burnouts are real, bro. Like, it, honestly, when you get to a certain point, and I'm not saying that I'm like a super high point, but when you get to a point of a lot of experience, you get me. The one thing that you're trying not to do is burn out. You get me? Because when you get burned out, honestly, it's one of the worst feelings you get, because you don't want to do anything.
You are
You
not
get me?
productive.
You're not productive. You get lazy. You really don't want to continue with the things that you need to get done, and that can really affect, if you have companies, it can really affect your company. That can really affect the people around you. that can really affect the goal and the time that you have to achieve those goals. And honestly, like I've experienced burnouts. You get me? And one of them I experienced them on that time lapse, like the 2 year time lapse.
Mm-hmm.
After being 2 years like whole monk mode, like freaking trying to build an empire in 2 years, it's honestly, dude, the dumbest thing ever. Is not possible. But I tried. I had to learn a lot of things uh, that needed to be more realistic. But honestly, I think if it wasn't because of that dedication and stuff, we wouldn't been in the position that we're in right now with the company that we have, right? But after that period, bro, I went to a whole lapse of like rest, and I was burned out. And all I wanted to do was rest. You get me? Super lazy. It was super hard for me to like plan things, strategize, focus. I just all I wanted to do is like, dude, I just don't want to think.
Leave me alone.
You get me? And one of the things that would happen is that even if I wanted to relax, I had people that depended on me, so I couldn't, and I had to have a tough talk with myself. It's like, okay,
What are we doing?
dude, are you really gonna drop out of the race right now when you're barely starting? I remember we was going through struggles, financial struggles, dude. Where I was in charge of the whole investor, getting investors and all that stuff. Because as a CEO, that's your part, bro. You gotta be the contact with people with money. You gotta show them what you're about, what the company's about. And honestly, in that period, it was a period where, bro, like, just just wanted to kind of rest. You get me? Because I felt the burnout out of those 2 years that I did not take breaks. So what I started doing now to not get those burnouts is wind down. One, to wind down your brain. You get me? Don't go full on freaking monk mode, super destroyer. Cause dude, you're not a robot. You get me? And if you're gonna buy a Tesla robot, you could probably do it, but not you. So that's one of the things that I learned. The other thing that I learned that I think is very helpful is take days off, bro. Like when I say take days off, I take Sundays off. Like yes, we record the podcast on Sundays, but
It's not like a job,
it's not like a
like
job
something that
that
is
we
drain you
do.
mentally.
You get me? It's more like we're just having this chat, and while the chat that we're having, there's cameras recording and people are seeing this.
Because this is something that we are used to. We usually on Sundays we just go
We
out
go
and
out and talk.
talk about our
You
week
get me?
and everything.
The little difference is that we don't have coffees and croissants, and as a difference. You get
Yeah.
me? But usually on Sundays we just take it to relax and go out and talk with friends and all that stuff, right? But that's what I learned, like take Sundays off. And I love this Bible verse. I love the Bible, first of all. I love the Bible. I love God. I love Jesus Christ. And this is my point of view. If the Lord, took a day off to teach us that we need to take a day off, right? Then why don't we do it? Because he is all powerful God, right? But he was like, if I don't take a day off, they're not gonna take a day off. And I'm God. I could handle this, but they're human. They won't be able to
can't.
handle that. You get me? So he taught us to take a day off, right? And I know that within the Jewish culture, it's the Sabbath, right? They take the day off. They disconnect from everything, like literally disconnect from everything.
They can touch technology and not.
Like, bro, they're out. You get me? Because they really take that day as a day off. Within us, like the Christians, you get me? One of the things that we lack to do most of the time is take days off. Take one day off out of your week. You gotta give it to the Lord. And sometimes what we do is we give it to the Lord, but we serve. You get me? In church, we do this, we do that. But honestly, when it's that talk of and the Lord rested on the seventh day, it doesn't say and the Lord served and the Lord did this and the Lord did that. No, it just said he rested on the seventh day. You get me? So sometimes we just need to do that. Sometimes on the seventh day, we just, yeah, go to church, but rest. Spend time with your family, spend time with the people that matter, and rest. Why? Because Monday comes around and you gotta be
ready for it.
Ready with full battery to go and achieve. Dude, it's crazy that you say that because one of my mistakes was exactly that I did not start baby steps. You get me? I did not think of a routine of 10 years. Now I do think of a routine of 10 years. You get me? But before I didn't. And one of the things that the body will resent you for it. You get me? Your body will resent you because within that period of monk time, I was also doing sound engineering for like different artists and stuff. So it was like weekend jobs and stuff like that, which, bro, it was like from 7 p.m. Or 8 p.m. all the way to sometimes 3 a.m., right? 4 a.m. or sometimes
the whole night.
The whole night. And then church on Sundays. Usually it was Saturday at night.
And then go take a shower.
And then take a shower, go to church on Sunday, play the drums. You get me? Serve and stuff like that. So that part of literally getting no rest and just trying to keep on with the productivity and going with the routine so strict,
isn't help.
It did not help. And one of the problems that I have, and I think that you could agree with this, is I fall asleep when I drive. It's very freaking dangerous. Honestly, the products, EC Health products, have been helping me out because they boost my energy levels. That's the booster does that. Focus, like, helps me focus and stuff. But if it wasn't because of the products that we have now, that they're like super freaking good, I wouldn't be able to do it. I think that I would still be falling asleep while driving, or I would probably just get out, take a nap, because right now I feel like my body's telling me like, oh, you're gonna pay up, boy. You're gonna pay up. All that time that you like went super hard at it with no stop, it's time to pay. You get me? So now I changed my routine completely, dude. And one of the things that I've been telling you is like, bro, rest. Dude, rest. Because of what I've been experiencing right now, right? I started like, dude, I started like crazy times. I feel like I could connect and with Felipe because one of my first jobs as a truck driver when I was like 18, 19, it was like that, bro. It was like wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning, go deliver stuff, I was living in San Diego. I would come all the way to LA, deliver, like go be back in the warehouse like around 5 p.m. You get me? And then the next day again, and just keep doing it. So it was like crazy kind of schedule, and honestly, plus that monk time that I got equals to what I'm getting right now. You get me? And it's super hard on the body, dude. And then right now, like bro, like handling all the work that we get and that we have. Easy Health, Way Up, we're recently getting another big project, and you get me. We're structuring a whole company from zero to 100, and it's just this big huge things that we're getting, and it's like, dude, like now I might not have a lot of time because I respect my sleep a lot, but I try to be more productive. I try to be more on the important urgent zone and getting those things done fast, 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 fast. You get me? I trying to like cut the times. So honestly, like, guys, if I could give you one advice, is one, unwind. Two, like, take that day off. And three, rest. Isn't it funny how, like, time and time again, like Apple and all these companies, they've been training us, training our brain like dogs, you get me, for that quick distraction, like, oh, a text, okay, and we forget everything that we were doing, right? Honestly, I was telling you today, like, I like the setup that I have right now on this phone. Well, my phone blew out. We were in some rides,
R.I.P.
and my phone, big phone, blew out. Like, phew. Oh well, airplane
Bye.
mode really works. So it totally got destroyed. So right now I'm using this little thing right here. But like the setup that I have right now, I have Wells Fargo, my Gmail, Meet, calendar, WhatsApp business, and WhatsApp and messages, and the Instagram, right? But that is all that I have in YouTube. That is all that I have on this phone. And honestly, I've like today was a very focused day for me because I know that I have nothing on my phone to distract myself on. You get me? So I feel like this setup, I'm gonna keep using it. When I get my phone back, I'm gonna keep using it. I feel like it's a pretty neat setup. Just getting my
Yeah,
bank accounts,
priorities.
my financial stuff in. That's what I'm missing because I do analyze the market a lot, and well, on this phone I don't have none of that stuff. None of like the analysis stuff and all the tools that I actually do use, and just leave the tools, productivity tools in, and leave all the junk out, like video games, like the Netflix and all that stuff, leave it out, right? Have it on the TV, but not on my phone where I could get
Yeah.
really distracted. Productivity, one of the tools that I use Notion. I use Notion Calendar. I use Google Calendar. I also use ClickUp for the business.
Yeah,
I
we use
use Monday for my other business. I like to keep the business like kind of like separate in a way. Why? Because like all of the things that we need to get done is like right there with reminders, and they send us reminders to our emails. I wish, I honestly, I do wish that ClickUp, Monday, and all of them would send reminders via text or WhatsApp.
that would be nice.
That would be very, very nice. Like, yo, ClickUp, if you guys need project managers, bro, you guys
We
could
have
hire us.
some really good ideas, bro.
We got good project managers. We got a good team that can make it happen. So, dude, like honestly, like I feel like if you have your structure of like tools that really make your life easier, that make your life more disciplined, you will be able to just like do 10x of what you're doing right now. And that's, I think that's for just everyone that's watching. You get me? Tools for beginners, just try Notion. Don't Notion is just for personal, right?
Yeah.
Notion is personal. Google Calendar, appointments, dude. Appointments are scheduling every single appointment meeting that you have, with reminders, constant reminders, like three, four reminders. You get me? If you have a business, ClickUp. Their free section is pretty solid. You get me? It's really freaking solid. Now, if you want to pay, then you get more things. Some people will use, like I said, Monday, or they will use Asana. That's another one. Honestly, I feel like this podcast is a unique podcast. You get me? Uh, if if you guys have questions, you guys could feel free to DM us on day one. We're here to help. You get me? I feel like people feel like they're alone. You get me? But honestly, you're not alone. One of the things that I like doing with the guys, and uh, I love connecting with like young people, young entrepreneurs, because they wanna do so much. You get me? They have the fire, but they don't know how to do it. They wanna eat the world. You get me? But sometimes they don't know how to do it. And honestly, like I feel like we have great friends and we have great mentors that they teach us. I was talking to my business partner this week, and I told him like, "Yo, like, dude, I feel like I want to go 1,000 miles an hour. You get me? I feel like I could do more because we were talking about like that productivity part." And the message that he sent me back really impacted my life. It was so simple but so powerful. He said, "It's because you're looking at the hours, not the seconds." And for me, it was like, man, like that's true. Like I'm looking at the big picture. I feel like the big picture's not moving. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I want to push harder. I want to go 1,000 miles an hour, but I'm not seeing the details. I'm not seeing the seconds. You get me? I'm not, because the big picture, the hour has minutes, right? Well, that's a detail of the hour. And then the minutes have seconds. And then if we go to the milliseconds, that's another category. But I understood it in his perspective, that you're looking at the vision and you feel like you're not moving because you're looking at the big picture. The hours, they move slower. You get me? But when you look at the seconds, they move fast. And sometimes we need that. We need that reminder to, hey, don't only look at the hours, look at the seconds. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you're going slow, if you feel like I want to go 1,000 miles per hour, well then look at the seconds. The seconds go fast. You get me? So that was like a great reminder, and I feel like having people around like that are willing to mentor you, that are willing to talk to you and tell you like, dude, like this, you're looking at the hours, look at the seconds. It's just big game changer. You get me? And I feel like if people are able to connect with us through DM, through questions, and all that stuff, we're more than happy to respond. We're here for that. You get me? We're here to create a community of people that are hungry to learn, that wanna go to the next step. And I know that there's gonna be a lot of entrepreneurs that don't know how to do it, but they have the hunger to do it. You get me? So, and there's a lot of people out there selling courses. And one of the things that always, for me, it always gets me mad is like the courses. That's why one of the people that I follow and I love to follow is Alex Hormozy. All of his information is like for free. You get me? But honestly, like the information that he talks about, it's like if you're very beginning, you're probably gonna get confused like quick. You get me? But we try to make it in a way or in a sense where it's super understandable. We relate it to our life. Steven relates it out of his life. We try to give our testimonies out as much as we can so that the people watching could connect. Guys, remember, it's never about, the perfect conditions, perfect weather, right? It's always about, is it gonna be one day kind of thing, or is it gonna be
Your
your
day
day
by
one,
one.
right? So thank you, Steven.
Thank you, Sadrak. And thank you guys for watching us.
Subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram, and send it to everyone so that we can make a bigger movement.
Thank you guys for everything and see you in the next episode.